majority of the planet is sleepwalking. Not literally, but mentally and politically unconscious. 95% of people drift through life in a haze, believing what they're told, doing what they're told, feeling what they're told to feel. They wake up, work, scroll, consume, sleep. They don't question the script because they don't even know they're in one. They think they're free because they can choose between two brands of the same product, two parties reading from the same teleprompter, two news channels owned by the same corporate parents. They think that's choice. They think that's reality. Then there's the 5%. They see cracks in the stage set. They notice the scenery doesn't match the story. They see the strings on the puppet show. They catch the camera cuts, the same talking points in different mouths across countries. They read the fine print. They question the headline. They wonder why the story changes depending on who's telling it. The 5% are awake, not in the corporate-approved way, but in the dangerous way, the way that makes you an outsider in a world built for the obedient. They see the system for what it is, a collapsing shell propped up by fear, distraction, and manipulation. They know most people are living in a house of cards built on illusions of freedom and safety. So they try, they warn, they speak, they risk reputations, relationships, even safety to tell the truth. They're not doing it to be liked. They're doing it because they know what's coming and the 95% aren't ready. But the tragedy is the people they're trying to wake turn against them. Instead of listening, the 95% lash out. They call them crazy, paranoid, dangerous. They mock them, block them, report them. They accuse them of being the problem when they're trying to solve it. The ones dragging people from a burning building are accused of starting the fire. Why? Because truth is uncomfortable. Waking up means admitting you were wrong, accepting that the people you trusted lied to you. The lie is comfortable. The lie feels safe. The lie tells you everything's fine even as the floor gives way. History repeats. Galileo proved the Earth wasn't the center of the universe and was branded a heretic. Early warnings about worker exploitation or the 2008 crash were mocked until proven right, then forgotten. The system depends on this. It can't afford mass awakening. Awake people don't obey, don't buy what they're told to buy, don't fear what they're told to fear. The system survives on uninformed consent. The 5% threaten the entire model. So the system fights back. Propaganda floods the airwaves. Conspiracy theorist becomes a weaponized label. Search results are buried, influencers push ridicule, questioning becomes too costly. This is psychological warfare. Make truth tellers socially radioactive so the herd silences them. The 5% aren't perfect. They make mistakes, but they're looking, they're questioning, and that alone puts them ahead of a population that doesn't even know there's a script. Once awake, you can't go back. You can't unsee the patterns. You're cursed with the need to speak, risking being cut off and labeled an enemy. Some retreat into their own circles. Others keep fighting, knowing they may never convince the 95% but might reach one person. And one person can spark another. The system is collapsing. You can see it in the economy, politics, culture. Cracks are everywhere. Distractions are louder because the foundations are weaker. Fear campaigns are more aggressive because obedience is slipping. The 95% cling harder to illusion because they feel the walls closing in. The 5% aren't the enemy. They're the warning before the collapse. They're pointing at the smoke before the fire hits your door. They're telling you the bridge is out before you drive over the edge. By the time most realize it, it'll be too late. Wishing won't rebuild the bridge. So maybe the question isn't why the 5% are trying so hard to wake the 95%. Maybe it's why the 95% are fighting so hard to stay asleep. You be the judge if you're awake. Don't forget to subscribe to our underground newsletter, link in the description.